Hello, my writing apprentices. Welcome to the classroom. I'm so glad you found me here. I'm Mrs. Considine. I'm your writing teacher and I'm here to help you with all things writing. We're going to be weaving words together. We're going to be building sentences, and I'm here every day of the week to help you with your writing. Now, what I'd like you to do is to make sure you've got a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. They are the tools of our craft, and together we're going to create something really wonderful. We're all going to play our part, and through our thinking, our writing and our weaving, we will build a story for the whole nation. Now, let me explain what's going to happen and what our film focus is for today. When this lesson is over, I want you to go and watch the film. And today's film is called The Windmill Farmer. It's a really short film, really short, probably much shorter than we've looked at before. And so when I have carved up the chunks for today, you're going to notice that they're really short. This means that when we write our 9 sentences, I want you to do some really slow motion writing. I don't want you to rush. I want you to think about description and the way that we don't need a lot of plot here, but we can show the reader the whole environment. We're going to take some time in our writing and really slow it down. Our film today is The Windmill Farmer. If you look in the description below, you'll be able to see the film and a link to it, but more than that, we also have the chunks outlined. Now, when it's time to write, which isn't yet, but soon, I need you to write within those time requirements and don't breach them so that your writing can sit nicely with all the other children and adults around the UK. Now, I'm going to explain how Mrs. C decides on the writing challenges for the day. All the writing challenges come from the Writing Rainbow, and the Writing Rainbow captures all the things we need to think about as a writer, all the choices we have, all the areas we can explore. Mrs. C sometimes chooses something from the Ideas of Writing tier. That's the Fantastics. Sometimes she chooses something from the Grammaristic tier, all about the grammar of writing. So we're really good at that part. And finally, she might choose something from the Techniques of Writing. But she'll choose somewhere on the rainbow to decide on the writing challenges for today. So, what are the writing challenges for today? I always get excited about this bit. I'm sure you do too. Here are our 3 writing challenges. The first one is all about personification. We had a go at doing this yesterday, and this is where we inject human attributes to something that isn't human. We bring it to life as a person, and we're going to do that today attached to something in nature. So we had a go yesterday and it's coming back. Oh, learning is best in bite-sized chunks, that it doesn't drift away for too long, that it keeps coming back. Personification. So don't worry if you think that looks tricky. I'm here to help you. Our second challenge is all about the adverb, and particularly today we're going to focus on a how adverb. We're going to focus on an ly ending how adverb, and you might notice this green arrow here on this symbol. Do you know what that means? That green arrow means that all the adverbs are really movable. A bit like a green light. We can move them about. We can put them in different positions in clauses. Oh, those things really do get me excited. And the third area we're going to be looking at today is complex sentences. And I'm going to ask you to include, I'm going to challenge you to include some conjunctions, some subordinating conjunctions. And there are 4 to choose from today. I'm going to write those down. We could have when, we could have if, we could have that, and we could have because. I'm going to be on the lookout for a sentence that includes one of those conjunctions, because things like that really do make me feel joyous and makes me know that you've been listening in the writing classroom. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you what chunk I've chosen. I've chosen chunk 4 from the Windmill Farmer, and I'm going to demonstrate how I would write it and consider how I would weave in these 3 aspects: personification, the how adverb, and a sentence that might include when, if, that, and because. So my chunk is 4, and what I'd like you to do when it's time to write is make sure your name goes on your piece of paper, your age, and the chunk you have chosen. I'm going to give you some other writing advice now, because now that I'm going to model my mind, my writer's mind, and I'm also going to showcase language that you can collect and gather. As you watch Mrs. C teach you how to write, I want you to think like a writer. I want you to make jottings to help you. I want you to note down words that are of interest. All of our pre-thinking before constructing sentences is just as useful, you know. And those jottings, those little precious pieces, those wonderful words, oh, they really might come in useful, particularly if you want to be a very vivid, evocative writer. Okay. So, I've chosen chunk 4, and you do know my name by now, and I'm afraid some of you know my age as well. Okay, here we go then. I'm going to have this blank piece of paper as our workable territory. You're going to see me do 2 things. You're going to see me write. You might see me make spelling mistakes. You're going to see me go back and reread and check. And I don't think this is a bad thing, but you will see me worrying about words. It's an important thing as a writer to worry about words because we want them to be so eloquent and expressive. Okay, you are now going to get a window to my thinking, and remember, what I want you to do is to be listening jotters. You got a pen or a pencil in your hand and you're gathering some good ideas. Okay, I've chosen chunk 4, and that is when the storm starts. It's a particularly nasty storm. It's very big and it's actually very damaging. And the sort of idea I'm trying to create here is I want to use this sense that the sky is a human now. So I'm thinking of personification, but the sky isn't very well. It's almost become sick, and it's become so sick and diseased that actually this is not necessarily healthy rain for the crops. It's really damaging rain. So I want to introduce that sort of the humanness, that the sky becomes unwell or poorly. In fact, I'm going to start, I think, by putting that idea down on paper. The other thing is, it's when the farmer least expects it, because this really treacherous, I do surprise myself when I come out with some interesting words like treacherous. This storm is in the summer. So I'm going to start with the determiner the summer sky fell sick, turns sick. The summer sky turns, I like that, turns sick, becomes unwell, turns sick, sort of has more negative intent. I'm then going to put in a colon because I'm going to carry on with some more clauses to explain this in more detail. The summer sky turns sick. Coughing, yes. So now really human actions that you'd expect a human to do. So this, we can really feel we're in the realm of personification. Coughing out, and now I want the image of the rain. Coughing out, great gouts of water. Oh, yes. I'm going to think of other things you might do when you're sick. You might, that coughing, you might be spluttering as well. Spluttering's quite good. Coughing out great gouts of water. Spluttering. I still want to talk about almost these rain droplets. Rain droplets is too gentle. We want a storm. Spluttering down, that's better. An explosion of rain. Yes, an expulsion, not quite right. Spluttering down, an eruption of rain. Eruption of rain. Eruption of rain. I'm going to do one more idea linked to this sick sky, this sick person of a sky. And this is going to be my last idea, so I know I can use a conjunction and a, almost like vomiting. I'm going to go to my thesaurus thinking board because I'm not sure if I want to use vomiting. I know I want a negative action. Let me write down vomiting and see if I can get any other ideas in the synonym family. Now, vomiting. Is it one T or two T's? When you're not sure, don't worry. Have very brave, I call them brave spelling guesses, but just make a note for yourself that you're going to check. I'm fairly certain it's one T, but I can check later. Vomiting, spewing, oh, that's a good word. Puking, maybe that's a bit informal, puking, don't mind it. Expelling. Expelling. Now here's another word. Does it have two L's or not in expelling? Be a brave speller. You can just keep a little note and check later. Actually, of those, I really do like spewing. So I'm going to use that one, I think. Oh, spluttering down, an eruption of rain, and I'm going to do a live edit now because I don't need that A. Spluttering down and spewing, probably needs to have out with it, doesn't it? Spewing out a deluge of water. I was going to put rain, but then I did almost think I've said rain already. Deluge, oh, this is tricky. Is that right? I'll go and have a look in a minute. Deluge of water. Maybe I don't need of water. A deluge means a large amount of water. Another live edit. Let's put a full stop there. I'm going to read that back. This is the sky being a person, but not a healthy person, a sick person. I'm going to read the personification back now. The summer sky turns sick, coughing out great gouts of water, spluttering down an eruption of rain, and spewing out a deluge. Oh, deluge. Mrs. C, you're doing ever so well today. Okay. I'm going to have a go now at, after this sort of sickness of enormous amounts of water on the soil, we want to talk about where that rain goes. So we can really take control now, this 360-degree style of writing. We don't have to rush on. We can spend some time on the descriptive stuff. Okay, I now want to probably emphasise this again outside of the personification. So I'm just going to kind of go for quite a simple, straight sentence. The storm. Oh, I've already used this here. I might say this storm. This storm. This storm. And then I need some action words. Something like this storm hammered. That's quite good actually, but I'm going to just check if that is exactly what I want to do over on my thesaurus thinking board. Let's have a go at some of those. The storm hammered. Oh, that's a good one. Let's write it down, but let's just check it's definitely what we want. Punched. It punched the soil. It hammered the soil. It drummed the soil. Some of these are actually personifying the rain still. Drummed and thrummed. I think it'd be good here as well if we added a how adverb. What about heavily? What about incessantly? Incessantly. Do you know what's great about this? I can switch these around between verb and adverb. So I could go, the rain hammered loudly, the rain hammered wildly, the rain drummed incessantly, the rain punched heavily. I can switch them about. There are many different combinations there of choosing. This storm, I actually like hammered and I like heavily. I could put those, and then I've got a little bit of alliteration. I didn't even plan to do that. This storm hammered heavily. Oh, that's good. This storm hammered heavily on the soft, muddy earth. Soft, muddy earth. Do you remember what I said about this green arrow meant that this can move? I'm going to try it in some different places. The storm heavily hammered on the soft, muddy earth. Heavily, this storm hammered on the soft, muddy earth. This storm hammered on the soft, muddy earth heavily. It's so fascinating to me that ly can go in 4 different places. I actually like it there because then we get the alliteration. Okay. I'm going to have a go at building a complex sentence. And all of those words are great at joining two clauses together. But you know what really interests me today? If. I'm going to have a go at starting a sentence with if. Almost leading into this, if things were different. That sort of thinking. I could put the word only there, if only. And then I could build 3 if only clauses. Something like, if only the rain would stop. Or that, I like that. I'm going to keep that, I think. If only the rain would stop. I wonder if I can do another clause like that. Maybe I could repeat this wonderful modal verb. If only the rain would stop. If only the clouds, if only the clouds would move on. A bit clumsy, that would move on. If only the clouds would, I need to perhaps get some ideas there about what I need the clouds to do. If only the clouds move on. Oh, I've got a little bit of writer's block there. Let me think. I'm going to write it down. I know I don't want to choose that. If only the clouds would move on. If only the clouds would dissipate. Dissipate. So strange, this word. It has a double S there. Got to learn that, I think. Dissipate, disperse. Clear. That's a good one, actually. If only the clouds would clear. And then I'm going to do one more. Wouldn't it be just gorgeous if the sun came out? If only the sun would shine. If only the sun would shine. Then the crops would be saved. Would be. Maybe I need to change that modal verb to could. Could be saved. I'm going to go back and reread this to see if I like it. The summer sky turns sick, coughing out great gouts of water, spluttering down an eruption of rain, and spewing out a deluge. This storm hammered heavily on the soft, muddy earth. If only the rain would rain. Oh, Mrs. C, it's a good job. It's a good job you reread. If only the rain would stop. Live edit. If only the clouds would clear. If only the sun would shine, then the crops could be saved. I'm actually really pleased with that. And I challenge you now to write 9 sentences for your chosen chunk. I want you to think about personification, bringing something to life using human terms and attributes. Have a go at an ly adverb and move it about. And show me a sentence that might have because in it, or when, or if. Super sentence stackers, I am so glad you come into this UK-wide classroom every day. And I know some of you are in Scotland, and some of you are in Newcastle, and some of you are in London, and some of you are in Dorset. But together, we're one big community classroom, and I'm always here to help. Do send your work to me. Make sure your name's on it and hashtag it on Twitter for Super Sentence Stackers. Send it to @JaneConsidine. You can also send it into Facebook at The Training Space. I will read your work. I will comment on your work. Your work is so joyous. Don't worry if I don't comment on all of your work, because there is thousands of writing pieces that have been entered for Super Sentence Stackers. But thank you so much for taking part, and I will be here every day, school day, to be your writing teacher. Thank you, everybody, and good luck.